Thank you, Mayor Buckley, and thank you to who all are in attendance today. This concludes our Earth Day program. At this time, we will move to the front of the building for our ceremonial treatment.
Good morning. My name is Ryan Galligan. I'm with the Maryland Forest Service, and I wanted to take this time to present the mayor and recognize the city for their 26 years in Tree City USA program. So, over a quarter of a century, helping improve our environment, helping analyze trees here in the city, and it's for green health.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Pastor Diana Carroll, and I am the rector of St. Luke's Episcopal Church here in Eastport. And on behalf of our congregation, it's my pleasure to welcome you all to our Restoration of Nature project. This project began as a dream of St. Luke's, a dream to use this 5-acre property that we have to better care for creation and serve our surrounding communities. That dream is now a reality, thanks to our many wonderful partners, including the Maryland Department of Natural Resources, Alliance for the Chesapeake Bay, Interfaith Partners for the Chesapeake, the Anne Arundel Watershed Stewards Academy, hundreds of donors and volunteers, and of course, our exceptional award-winning contractor, Underwood & Associates. Yes. We named this project Restoration of Nature because we are doing exactly that. To provide clean water to the Chesapeake Bay, we first had to restore balance in the ecosystem. 70 years or so ago, this land became an ecosystem desert after the stream that once flowed here was trapped inside stormwater pipes. Those pipes delivered 28 acres of stormwater runoff directly into Back Creek, carrying all of that pollution and sediment with it. St. Luke's Restoration of Nature brings that water onto our land instead and filters it through a treatment train of best management practices for the bay. It includes a regenerative stream, wetlands, tidal marsh, and living shoreline. Our work is already showing results even before it is finished. We're regenerating clean springs of water that once existed here. You can see clear water flowing into the creek at the tidal interface. And soon we expect that turtles, frogs, ducklings, dragonflies, waterfowl, and yes, even spawning fish and crabs will call this place home as the ecosystem is restored. Underwood & Associates is in the process of putting the finishing touches on the project, including planting, adjusting the weirs that slow down and filter the water, and creating trails for an environmental education campus that we hope will teach and inspire others. We anticipate that work will be completed by June 1st. There are a few more aspects of permitting still to be approved, and we trust that Ms. Guild will help our partners through these final stages. Given a final grading permit, we look forward to contributing to the city's TMDL, that's Total Maximum Daily Load Reduction credits. And at the same time, we look forward to providing a peaceful oasis for wildlife and human beings alike. So thank you for being here with us today for this occasion, and it's my honor now to introduce the Mayor of Annapolis, Gavin Buckley. Mr. Mayor.
So I wish I could take some credit for this, but is it on? So I wish I could take some credit for this, but you guys deserve all the credit, obviously. Everybody that's been involved here, I just want to say I thank you so much. This is amazing, and we are so lucky to have citizens like you guys that make things like this happen. This stuff doesn't just happen overnight. You know, it has to be a lot of passionate people, a lot of people that really love their city to get behind things like this and see it come to fruition. So you guys all should give yourself a round of applause because this really is amazing. I will now read my prepared speech with the big letters on that you can probably all read from there because I'm half blind. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Pastor Diane and St. Luke's for hosting us here today. This location in the great neighbourhood of Eastport is the perfect location for our city's 218th Earth Day press conference. Mostly because of your outstanding stream bed restoration project here behind me that is nearly complete. But I'm also here at St. Luke's Church because it will take a lot of faith to achieve some of our most important environmental goals. My number one environmental goal is to make the waters of Annapolis swimmable and fishable again at all times. We cannot achieve this goal without effective stormwater treatment. This project behind me is an outstanding example of how we can do this. We also will continue to partner with our wonderful non-profit organisations like the Back Creek Conservancy and Spa Creek Conservancy and our river keepers to identify and plan restoration projects to help improve our water quality and reduce nutrient pollution. This morning I was at Annapolis Elementary School to celebrate Arbor Day and plant a tree. Trees are good. We need to be planting hundreds of trees, if not thousands of trees, in the city each year. Our downtown area could really use some more trees. But if you take a look around behind me, this project is what we need more of. Public, private, non-profit partnerships working together. What a beautiful cascading waterway this project will be instead of a drain pipe culvert, funneling stormwater directly into Back Creek that's been treated. We will return this area to its natural stream bed state, which is not only beautiful, but provides a wildlife habitat and much needed green space in the city of Annapolis. But what we have to do much more than plant trees and restore stream beds. We have environmental protection and enhancement must be integrated into every project we undertake in this city. This is why I, along with Rob, will be creating, and Ross, and anyone else, and Ellie, and any other councillors there, will be creating a Creeks Cabinet at City Hall. Again, I'd like to take credit for that, but the Creeks Cabinet will include our city manager, department heads, harbour master, historic preservation, city council members, and representatives from the Annapolis area watershed organisations, Annapolis Environmental Commission, Annapolis Conservancy Board, and advising scientists. And Dave Wallace. We will meet monthly, and we will hit the ground running to find state, federal, and private grants to pursue. We will review and propose legislation to the City Council that strengthens our environmental laws. And the rock star who will be leading this effort is here today with us. My nominee to direct the city's Office of Environmental Policy, Mrs. Jackie Gold. Over here. Jackie will help us find efficiencies across city departments to help us fast track these projects so we can start to see real results in water quality. Jackie, would you like to say a couple of words?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
It's just for the recording.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for including me here today. I am really excited to join the mayor's team and start working on all the environmental challenges facing Annapolis. I intend to make this office open, transparent, accountable, and responsive. I believe that with all the resources that are out here in Annapolis, we have so many people with experience, with expertise, and willingness and time to devote to forging public-private partnerships the mayor has alluded to, that if we put everybody to work and harness that energy, I think we can make Annapolis the leading city in Maryland for environmental health and resiliency and sustainability. And I'm looking forward to working with all of you to get us there, and starting May 17th. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you. Hopefully during this evening's City Council meeting, our aldermen will enthusiastically support Mrs. Guild's appointment. No pressure. And finally, I'd like to thank Alderman Rob Savage, an outstanding leader in the environmental community, who will sponsor several pieces of legislation in the city to help protect our natural resources. Let's welcome Rob for a second.
All right, I don't have my 40-point script, but I'll try to read off my phone. All right, so thank you, everybody. So Earth Day is about reconnecting with nature, and it's about showing appreciation. And in the case of Annapolis, a city surrounded by 4 creeks and a river, now it's about reconnecting with our waterways. So as elected officials, we need to do our part to make Annapolis a beacon of environmentalism. And we need to restore our waterways for our children and for our future generations. So Gavin's nomination of Jackie Gild will help us on that path. Now, her background in environmental law will be essential in identifying areas where we could do better. Her tenure with the Chesapeake Legal Alliance brings with it years of working with the community groups on any number of environmental issues, ranging from development concerns to restoration efforts. More importantly, she brings a collaborative approach that has been so lacking in the city for a number of years. So it's appropriate that we are here at St. Luke's today. It shows the excellent work done by the nonprofits in our community, but it also shows how there are many ways in which the city could and should do better, and how the city could and should be a better partner. Right, Gavin and I and the others on the council are introducing a resolution called a Creek Restoration Partnership. So it's a statement that we are committed to a partnership with all of you, the watershed organizations, and also the community activists. It's a statement that we will examine our processes to make it easier for you and for us to restore our creeks. The nonprofits and public stewards are the ones doing the vast majority of the work, not the city. And we need you. We have $9 million worth of restoration projects that we have to fund by 2025, and we simply can't do it alone. I'm hoping this resolution will start us off on the right track with a new administration, a new council, and a new office of environmental policy leadership. So I mentioned the $9 million in anticipated project costs, but there's also $11 million in total program costs for a combined total of $20 million. So the question comes up, how are we going to pay for this? You know, we have a watershed restoration fund in the city, and the purpose is to be used so that money is used for land acquisition, project design, project funding, maintenance of our infrastructure, and associated staff costs. But what's happened in the past is much different. In previous administrations, this fund has been used to balance the budget. And most recently, it's been used all on staff costs, with almost zero going toward restoration projects. So that's not acceptable to me, and I think it's not acceptable to a lot in the community. And so in my view, it doesn't honor the intention of the fund. So Gavin and I, and hopefully others on the council, will be introducing a resolution called Appropriate Use of the Watershed Restoration Fund. And that will reaffirm how that money should be spent. And we felt, thank you. So we felt it was important to introduce this during the budget process. So there will be much more to come. I'm currently working on overhauling our sediment and erosion control code and our inspection program to make sure that we reduce the amount of sediment and muddy runoff entering into our creeks. So we've had a number of sites in violation recently. There's been a lot of public attention to this, and there's a lot of room in our code to improve how we operate and how we inspect these development projects. So the creation of the Creek Cabinet, which Gavin mentioned, is an absolutely essential step to ensuring success of these efforts. The Cabinet will be convening monthly with the directors and quarterly with watershed groups in an effort to coordinate not only our own restoration efforts, but also our work on resiliency, forest conservation, trail creation, and also track how the Watershed Restoration Fund is being used. So Jackie Gild will be the key staff person involved with this effort. I look forward to casting a vote for her appointment this evening. So I'd like to end by also giving a special shout out to Bevan Buchheister and the Annapolis Environmental Commission for the whole Creek Cabinet idea would not have been realized without their initiative and feedback. So thank you, everybody.
I want to reiterate that I don't deserve the credit for this, that you all should be behind the microphone giving this talk, but I like being mayor because I get to do this stuff. But I can't leave without putting the microphone over to Diane Butler because she's been the champion for all of us, and she definitely has to say a few words. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you all for being here. I know many of you had a busy Greenscape weekend, and there was a lot of hard work being done here and all over Annapolis. I'd like to give a special shout out to the Parks and Recreation Director, Archie Trader, who's not here today, but he and his staff, Marissa Whitlinger and others, do a phenomenal job at Greenscape each year, and they did a phenomenal job this year. So, thank you. Thank you, Archie. Yeah. So I'm here as a representative of the Annapolis Environmental Commission, and we're a volunteer commission appointed by the mayor and confirmed by City Council. What do we do exactly? We study pollution issues related to the land, air, and waters of Annapolis and make recommendations to the mayor, City Council, and others regarding these issues. So what does that actually mean? We're advisory only. So what that means is that without the support of City Council and the leadership of our mayor, none of our recommendations actually become reality. So here's the good news. At the beginning of the year, the Annapolis Environmental Commission prioritized our top environmental issues. We then reviewed the mayor's concerns and proposed environmental initiatives, and they were very similar to ours. So needless to say, the commission is thrilled to be working with our new mayor. And although it's past the 100-day mark, so I'm not sure if you're new anymore. But we are also impressed with our new aldermen and women who are already engaged in asking us our position on important environmental issues. I have 4 brief points to make on behalf of the AEC. First, we applaud the mayor's formation of the Creek Cabinet, which will allow the city to take multidisciplined approach to solving difficult environmental issues. Likewise, the Watershed Restoration Fund will bring some welcome transparency to how we use the city's dedicated stormwater fees, as Rob said, and ensure that more restoration projects happen, which create good jobs and benefit the environment. The Creek Restoration Partnership, which I have dubbed the Play Well with Others resolution, will make it easier for the city to piggyback on all the great work that's being done by our nonprofits. The AEC is excited to work with Jackie Gild, who many of us have had the pleasure of working with in the past. And we believe that Jackie is a great choice to lead the Creek Cabinet and to leverage our relationships with our key partners, including the St. Luke's Church, South River Federation, Back and Spa Creek Conservancy, Sever River Association and Commission. We work with the Chesapeake Bay Foundation, Alliance for the Chesapeake Bay folks are here today too, and many others. And I guess last but not least, I just want to say thank you on this beautiful day for all of you who are here that do so much work to protect our creeks, our rivers, and our other natural assets. Thank you.
Trees are so important, and in this historic town, you can go away and you can look around the town and there's trees that maybe go back to your founding fathers. So we are lucky to live in such a beautiful historic town. And I just think, what's better than climbing a tree? We need more trees in the city. So we have a zero net loss policy on trees. So for every tree that gets taken down, we have to replace it 1 for 1. So we're very conscious of that stuff.